Friends, I'm Chris Biffle, broadcasting live if it's October 6th where you are, 2014. We've got a swell class with amazing stuff going on tonight. A brand new whole brain teaching rule, the Super Improvers League, the big blinkeroo, and oh mighty one. Lots of wonderful stuff. Let me check my microphone here. And here we go. I will adjust my screen. It is week 3 of the WBT Masterclass 2.0, and we're covering classroom rules. Program 583. 583, my friends. Pressing on. It's the Super Improver League, which is the big deal in whole brain teaching. Let's talk about the Super Improver League. As you know, we're all about improvement in whole brain teaching. We don't reward for ability, we reward for improvement. We've been thinking for years about ways to get classes involved, the people who are passionate about whole brain teaching. The answer is the Super Improver League. Here's how it's going to work. You register on Facebook. The address is right here at the bottom of the screen. I'll go to Facebook right now and I'll show you where to register. Here we go for the adventure. Here's the Facebook page. I'm scrolling down and it is a comment with a sign. It says the Super Improver League right there. So just add a comment there. Tell us the name of your class, what grade. And here are the details that you're eager for. I will post an event. All of the events are going to be about improving. Here's the first event. You can get a head start. The first event is called 10-Minute Wonders. Are you liking the name of the first event, 10-Minute Wonders? Here's how it'll work. You go into class, pick 10 minutes when your kids are not usually paying attention. 10 minutes when the kids are usually not paying attention. You don't say anything, you just teach for 10 minutes. Do not use whole brain teaching, just direct instruction for 10 minutes. The instant a kid is off task, make a tally mark. Don't correct the kid. It's uncorrected, direct instruction. All you're doing is making tally marks to see what 10 minutes without whole brain teaching is like. Are you with me so far? 10-minute window. No whole brain teaching. Kid is off task, even looks, you make a tally mark. Now, the next day, same time slot. I know you're going to have to endure. The next day, same time slot, you say this. We are now in a competition against classes across the nation. We've joined the Super Improver League because I think you kids are going to whip everybody in this country in improvement. Yesterday, for 10 minutes, I just made tally marks of how often we were off task. Our score yesterday in 10 minutes was 42. I'm going to do the same thing today. I'm going to talk for 10 minutes. I'm not going to correct you. But every time I see someone off task, I'm going to make a mark. Let's see if we can beat our record. You see the beauty of that? I mean, our goal is can kids pay attention to us for 10 minutes? Later on, we can add in whole brain teaching. You then go to Facebook and you say, well, the first day my kids had 40, the second day my kids had 30, my score is 10. Your score is not how many points, your score is how much did your kids improve. You with me? Your score is how much the kids improved. Then you can come back for another 10-minute window and say, well, we didn't use whole brain teaching. Let's go 10 more minutes. I'll use the scoreboard or I'll use whatever. So that first 10-minute window is crucial. It sets the baseline, and then start dialing in techniques and see if they can beat their score. And you keep posting your score on Facebook. Oh, now I've improved 20 points from my baseline. Yes. All right, my friends. There will be lots of room to grow. Here's our, every once in a while we'll ask you to go sign up at wholebrainteaching.com Facebook. Give it a try. We'll have lots of events. Here's the book. Who has bought Whole Brain Teaching for Challenging Kids, and who just cannot sleep without a copy under their pillow? Denise loves the book. Melinda loves it. I love it. Elise, thank you for buying it. And I'll tell you, my friends, we have a new book coming out. My friends, I'm telling you the name of the new book. We've got some new books coming out, but the next one coming out, the very next one, see if you like this title. 101 Amazing Whole Brain Teaching Games. 101 Amazing Whole Brain Teaching Games. That one's coming off the press next. Do you dig it? I'm taking a drink. Only 101, says Ms. Bigelow. We have a new book we're working on, Kathy Powers and I. All right, my friends, lots of wonderful stuff going on. We are one of the world's most popular education websites. And if you want professional development credit, here's my two friends. Biffy Bluebird. Hiya, Biffy. Hi, Coach. What if someone wants a copy of these slides or needs a professional development certificate? What do you say, Smarty? Coach, I got the answer. Easy breezy. Lemon squeezy. Details are at the end of this program. Yes, my friends, if you want professional development credit, we want to give it to you. Details at the end of the program. And I'll tell you what else. I'll tell you what else at the end of the program. We are going to offer a bundle of 10 webcasts. A bundle of 10 webcasts. The first 10 webcasts. I'm not even going to talk about the price. I mean, obviously the price should be around 50 or 60 bucks. I'm not talking about the price yet because I don't want you to pass out and miss the whole program. But yeah, a bundle coming up. Let's get right to the show. Rookie classroom rules. Here are the 5 rules. There's lots of copies of the 5 rules online. They're free. These are whoppingly expensive. They're 99 cents each, drawn by my dear daughter. Notice that they're multicultural. Follow directions quickly. Raise your hand for permission to speak. Raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. And I love this one because how are you going to make a rule, make smart choices? Look what my kid did. Make smart choices. Yeah. Here is Keep Your Dear Teacher Happy. You can buy these in the store at wholebrainteaching.com. So let's talk about the gestures. If you're brand new, here they are. Rule number 1, follow directions quickly. Rule number 2, raise your hand for permission to speak. Rule number 3, raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. Woo! Rule number 4, make smart choices. Rule number 5, keep your dear teacher happy. Those are the 5 basic rules, and those are the gestures. So all you do as a rookie is you review them 4 or 5 times a day. Be sure the kids know the gestures. And here's the mastery challenge. Use mirror words, review the classroom rules 5 times a day. Keep track on a tally sheet. Let's stop right here. My friends, who's using a tally sheet to keep track of whole brain teaching techniques? It's just too many techniques. Just put them on a tally sheet and give yourself a mark. Anybody using a tally sheet and really digging it? Carla Ann says yes. Carlson says yes. Loftus says yes. Rosie Red Sox, we'll give you another week to use that tally sheet. It's a reminder to do things differently. Keeps you focused, says Carlson. So here's how you introduce the 5 rules. You say, class, your kids say yes. He says, I'm now going to teach you the 5 classroom rules. And you just jump right into it. In kindergarten, you work on rule 1 for the first week. In kindergarten, rule 1 the first day, rule 2 the second day, rule 3 the next day, 1 rule at a time. Of course, I haven't told you about the brand new rule, the diamond rule, but I probably will. Or maybe I'll wait 6 months. I don't know. Here we go. Explain why you chose the rules. Ask for a show of hands. And say, I think it would be a good idea to start with these rules. You need buy-in. When you get buy-in and a kid is off task, you say, remember we voted on these rules. Biffy Bluebird says, why is buy-in important? Smarty says, later, when correcting a student in private, you can say, remember, we all voted on these rules. Do you still think they're a good idea? There's a lot of excitement out there tonight about the diamond rule. I want you all to get excited about super improvers and the diamond rule. Rehearsing the 5 rules. Post them everywhere. Use different tones of voice. Rule 1. Rule 1. Skip around. The way you rehearse it is this. You say the rule number, they say the rule. You're teaching along, suddenly say rule 2. You're teaching along, suddenly say rule 1, and boom. So you put the rehearsals in the middle of a lesson. I've never said that before. Here you go. Put the rules, rehearsal in the middle of a lesson, and also set some time apart to rehearse the rule. Anybody tried insertion of a rule in the lesson principle? Because if you haven't, I don't blame you. I just thought it up. Here is Hello Yellow. Oh, my friends, check it out. Just check it out. The big blinkeroo. Anything in yellow, my friends, is brand new. The big blinkeroo is so crazy, it will probably work. When your kids have learned the rules amazingly well, and you want to have some fun, and when don't you want to have fun, tell them about the big blinkeroo. Big blinkeroo, my friends. This is a good one. It's quick, it's fast, it's fun, and it teaches stuff. What else do we want from life? I'm going to tell you right now the big blinkeroo. Here's how it works. Dig it. When you close your eyes starting a big blinkeroo, they have to say all 5 rules before you unblink. Of course, if they do and it's really fast, and they get an automatic 2 smiley marks on the scoreboard, 1 for each eye. The only time they ever get 2 automatic smileys. To make this gag even better, open one eye when the kids are halfway through. Here's how it looks. Watch this. So I'm teaching along, and I go like that. That means You got to give me the 5 classroom rules really quickly, and then I go like this, see? And then I go like that. So it is a fun way to rapidly rehearse the rules, the big blinkeroo. Who's trying it tomorrow and wishes they could teach tonight to try the big blinkeroo? Who's on board with the big blinkeroo? Oh, we got people all over the country digging it. Jeff Battle is going to do it. Knock the limbic out of the park. Wow, I didn't realize the big blinkeroo. Giselle, you like the big blinkeroo? Kath have. All right. We got more fun stuff for you tonight. Here's the rationale. You probably don't need a rationale. Whole brain, visual, physical, and auditory rule rehearsal produces long-term memory. Fun means the brain's limbic system, its deep emotional core, is involved. We learn the most when we're having fun because we don't notice we're learning. One more big mega reason coming. This is it. You know, my friends, I just am not even ready myself for all the new stuff tonight. I'm going to just give you a completely different perspective on what we're doing, what it's about, and why so many people are crazy about it. Here is a major big reason why the big blinkeroo and everything else is so powerful. The big blinkeroo turns the teacher into the Pied Piper fun leader. Kids will follow the Pied Piper fun leader anywhere. That's what it does. Sarah met her. Welcome online. She's a Pied Piper fun leader. So here's the deal, my friends. This is really what we're about. This is what we do. The whole idea of WBT is to make you the Pied Piper fun leader. Can you dig that? You're so much fun, they follow you anywhere. Even into the dry lands of learning fractions. Pied Piper fun leader. Think of yourself that way. You're so much fun, they follow you anywhere. All right, so rule rehearsals after the first recess, before lunch, after or before whenever. And here it comes, my friends. Here it comes. You don't even have to wait for it. I'd like to know how happy you are that you don't have to wait any longer to hear the new rule, the diamond rule. I'm going to take a drink and just enjoy your enjoyment that you're about to hear. You're about to hear the diamond rule, the brand new rule. Yeah, they're ready all over the country. Jeff Battle's ready. The great thing about this rule is you can use it as part of the 5 rules, bring it in. Whenever you need that just diamond hard, brilliant, fascinating thing. All right, teacher in South Dakota is going to pass out. Here we go. I'm loving this new rule. Believe it or not, there's one more rule. One more rule, the diamond rule. Now, let me be clear about this. The 5 rules are staying. And next time we talk about it, maybe we'll say the 5 rules plus a diamond. The diamond can go at the start, at the end, save it for the end. You could start with the diamond rule, or you could work up to the diamond rule. That's what's so diamondy about it. And with all this buildup, it's got to be good. And my friends, it is good. It solves a fundamental problem of instruction. Here's the diamond rule. Diamonds are wildly valuable. The diamond rule may be the most valuable. The most valuable of all WBT's rules. Write the diamond rule on the board whenever you want to display one of your most wonderful teaching jewels. Here it is. All right. Giselle, thank you for suffering. Look at the one who is teaching. That's the diamond rule. We look at the teacher when she's teaching. Also, we look at a student who's responding to the instructor because the student is teaching. We've got to get them to look at the one who's teaching. In middle school, they don't look at the one who's teaching. In kindergarten, they don't look at the one who's teaching. It's the diamond rule. If they look at the one who's teaching, we've got engagement. Giselle, can you dig that all the way back in Philadelphia? Look at the one who's teaching. And the thing is, we have kids stand up and teach, and we're not looking at the one who's teaching. Here's the gesture. Let's keep it simple, my friends. Here's the gesture. Diamond rule. Look at the one who's teaching. Look at the one who's teaching. So whenever you want, write it on the board, work on it all day long, bring it back every once in a while. And you know when I discovered the diamond rule, the importance of it? 2 times. I was teaching in inner city Los Angeles in a small room of about 15 teachers, and I'm talking, and they're not looking at me. If they're not looking at me, the visual cortex is not involved. The visual cortex is one of the brain's most powerful information processors. They've turned off the back of their brain. And then the other day I was teaching with Chris Rexted in 4th grade, and the kids were just, and I'm thinking, gosh, I wish they'd look at me. All right, who is on board tomorrow with the diamond rule? Jeff Battle, you're right. If they're not looking at you, they're not using a third of your brain. So my friends, I'm glad to note that my build-up wasn't too big here. Here's the gesture. Look at the one who's teaching. Look at the one who's teaching. Project Diamond is just kicking off. And the amazing thing is, it's pre-K or it's seniors. Jeff Battle, Sarah Metter, you teach teenagers. Sarah, are you going to use the diamond rule? Do you have a problem with kids looking the wrong way? Diamond eyes, says Shelley Moko. Very good. All right, my friends, let's talk some more about the classroom rules. Here is the pro level. Now let me say, Andrea Schindler's version is, look at the teacher when she's talking. But I like better, no, listen when the teacher's talking. That's Andrea's rule. But that's a great rule, and it is my inspiration. But one step more is, look at the one who is teaching. And then that includes students, and it also says what we really want is we want you to be looking at us. So yeah, kudos to Andrea Schindler. And you can practice right way, wrong way. Let's just take off the glasses now. Easy to implement and practice this rule. Say, all right, I'm going to talk and you guys look anywhere except at me. John, you stand up and tell us about your pet dog. And everybody just look around like this. John, how does it feel when people are doing this? All right, now let's do it the right way. Wrong way, right way. Look at the one who's teaching. Okay, my friends. Here is the pro level of the classroom rule. And we got more stuff coming up that's brand new. More hello yellow. So at the pro level, to review the 5 classroom rules, you select a student to lead the rules. Students follow the student leader's prompts, rule 1, etc. The students make the rule gesture as they say the rule. This is a great exercise for class clowns or challenging students who flourish in the spotlight. So at the pro level, you get kids to lead the rules. We love leadership development. So a mastery challenge, Have 5 kids who use mirror words to teach the classroom rules 5 times a week. Keep track on a tally sheet. Here's another hello yellow coming at you. Oh. I don't know. This is a good one. As if we haven't had good ones already. The 3 freebie stopwatch. The 3 freebie stopwatch. Here's how it works. Rule 2 is the most important and difficult rule to implement. One day, go in with a stopwatch and say, let's see how long we can go without breaking Rule 2 3 times. The first time the rule is broken, say, that's 1. Then that's 2, and then, oh goodness, that was 3. Write the record on the board and we'll play again later. Here's the rationale. With 3 freebies, you're not coming down hard on one kid. After the first freebie, the class as a whole will be focused on not breaking rule number 2, which is what you want. And after the second freebie, oh goodness golly, the focus will be intense, which is what you dream of. When kids become effective going long periods without breaking rule number 2 3 times, then say, now we get 2 freebies. Let's see how long we can go and only break rule twice. Well, who's on board with the 3 freebie stopwatch? I'd love to hear. I'm taking a drink. S. Rebel is, Nancy is, Ms. Bigelow, Liz from Elizabeth, Jeff Battle, who's got those incredible teenagers, likes it. Jay Loftus says, needs a Red Bull for this webcast. You're right, my friends. Here we go with the all-star classroom rules. At the all-star level, when you want to review the 5 classroom rules, as any time during the day, call out a rule number. Students say rule, and the students make the gesture. Use this whenever students need a quick reminder. And here's the important point about the all-star rules. When you're using all-star classroom rules, you're not rehearsing your rules, you're implementing it. Now, many of you are using the 3-peat for Rule 1 implementation. You'll be glad that we're still using it. Implementation of Rule 1. You use the 3-peat. You say papers, the kids respond papers, 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 getting out their papers as quickly as possible. Or you say lines, the kids respond lines, lines, lines. Use a stopwatch to set class records for Rule 1. To implement the other rules, use a call-out. Student speaks without raising your hand for permission. You call out Rule 2. The class responds, raise your hand for permission to speak. Thus you've turned a class disruption into a rules fortification, teacher heaven. I'm going to get academic on you. I'm going to get academic. Forgive me for going back to my previous life as a philosophy instructor. Academic. In the Middle Ages, early chemists were called alchemists. And an alchemist tried to do things that by and large you couldn't do with matter. One of the favorite alchemical tasks was to take lead and try to turn it into gold. I mean, lead and gold, they're both heavy, they're both pretty soft. There ought to be a way to turn one into another. So a central goal of medieval alchemy was turning lead into gold. Now, the most sophisticated of the medieval alchemists were not trying to turn physical lead into physical gold. They were trying to turn spiritual lead into spiritual gold. They took the physical process as a mirror of what they wanted to happen inside themselves. Are you fascinated by this journey into medieval alchemy? Because I'll make my point in a second. I just want to know, are you digging a little academics here? I want to take a drink and see if if my team is on board. Yeah. Medieval alchemy, turning lead into gold, and then spiritual lead into spiritual gold. Well, here's the situation we have in whole brain teaching. Classroom lead is the disruption. That's what weighs us down. But when you say rule 2, and everyone else says, raise your hand for permission to speak, you've taken the leaden disruption and turned it into classroom golden unification. You've changed lead into gold. And if you attend to this process, perhaps some leaden parts of your heart will be having a golden shine. So it's not just external, it's internal. As you turn classroom lead into classroom gold, spiritual transformation. Wow, I'm knocking myself out tonight. Could I get a 10-finger woo? You know, like the leaden heart into the golden shine? Yes, Andre Desch, it got deep. I just got to calm myself down here. Pedagogical alchemy. We just did a dive into. Forgive me for getting too philosophical there, my friends. All right. So here are the strengths of the rules. Rules 1 to 3 cover the most common specific classroom problems. Rules 4 and 5 are universal. They cover everything that's left. Nebulous rules like be fair, care, and share don't cover anything. If you've got PBIS rules, you can put them under Rule 4. Make smart choices. Talk a little bit about Rule 5. Parent comes to you and says, what's this about Rule 5? Keep your dear teacher happy. I thought you're supposed to keep the kids happy. You say, my friend, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. It sounds like Rule 5 is about me, but here's the truth. There's only one thing that makes me happy as an instructor, and that's seeing my kids learn. So it sounds like it's about me, but it's really about my children. And that's what it's about. Our joy is seeing kids grow and flourish, or blossom, as they say in Philadelphia. I want you to use your tally sheet. I want you to record how many times you review the rules, how many times the students review the rules, and how many times you use the rule call out. Here is a handy, dandy cheat sheet. It summarizes all the different levels of classroom rules. Talk a little bit more about Rule 5. Why do we need Rule 5, keep your dear teacher happy? We need a rule for the kids who disagree with all rules. A kid can say that was a smart choice. A kid can say I was following directions quickly. A kid out of their seat can say I'm not out of my seat, I'm getting my pencil sharpened. Kids deny all the time that they're talking to their neighbors. So rules 1 to 4 can be quarreled with, because the kid is as much an authority, feels like, as you are. But Rule 5 cannot be quarreled with because there's no other authority but you. And you can say, you know, my friend, I don't know much in this big wide world, but I do know one thing, and I'm the only one who knows it. And I know what's making me happy. And little friend, that's not making me happy. What's the kid going to say? Yes, it is. Doesn't work. True story. Very, very challenging 4th grade kid. Teacher's walking back through the rows, and here's the kid say this: I hate Rule 5. He hates Rule 5 because there's no way to quarrel with it. All right, my dear colleagues. So there are the 3 levels of the classroom rules. We've talked about the new rule, which is look at the one who is teaching And oh my gosh, here's another hello yellow. Another hello yellow, another newbie. Kids love power. So does everyone. After many weeks, say our #1 goal in this class is improvement. You know each other well enough. Write down the names of a few kids you think have improved the most in following our rules. I'll pick one of your nominees to be the mighty one this afternoon. Whenever I say mighty one, they will call out the rule numbers being broken. Everyone else will call out the rule itself and finish with, all hail, O mighty one. Kids love power. So you pick a kid. They're really good at following the rules. The rule's being broken. The kid knows what rule it is. You say mighty one. The kid says rule 2. Everyone says rule 2. All hail, O mighty one. Hello, yellow. So my friends, look, if you've got challenging kids, it may be because you haven't come to the bottom of the whole brain teaching grab bag. So practice, my friends, practice. Use the tally sheet system, perfect one strategy per week, and in 13 weeks, when this master class is completed, you'll be breathing the sweet, intoxicating, heart-inflaming air of teacher heaven. Now, my friends, I got one more for you. I had so many tonight, but I hope you do pay attention. You need something for your back pocket. Nancy, Sarah, Jeff, Andre, Giselle, here's the deal. You're teaching along and you stop and you say, Tommy, stop that. Paula, don't put your shoelaces in your mouth. Don't play with your eraser. So you're teaching along and you have all of these little interruptions all day long. The problem is you've got to say too much. Let's use something quicker, cleaner, and more fun. What we're going to do is we're going to have the class yes solo. Let me explain the class yes solo. I'm going right here for now. Here's how the class yes solo works. You teach the kids that when I say your name, you say yes. I'm teaching along. Paul, yes. Da-da-da-da. Gina, yes. That's all we want is for them to say our name and fold their hands. So it's a solo class call out. Sometimes you're calling on a good kid. Sometimes you're not calling on a good kid. But you want to get it to where you just have to say the name and you bring them back. Stop tapping. And practice it. Practice the wrong way, practice the right way. Melinda says she's using it immediately. It's the class yes solo. All right, my friends. Special offer for you tonight, but here is the summary. Don't forget the diamond rule. Rookie, you review. Pro, the students review. All-stars, you call out the rules. 5-a-day rehearsals. Build a leadership team. Use the tally sheet and try the diamond rule. If you want my daughter's version of the 5 rules, they're right here in the store at Whole Brain Teaching. Someone just asked me, how do I come up with these? This is what's great about a webcast. You can kind of talk about what's going on. God blesses me. I wake up in the morning and I see images in my head. Truthfully, I see images in my head. The other day I saw an image and the image was the key to everything. I thought, the key to everything? Oh my gosh. And thinking about the key to everything, the Super Improver League began to sort itself out. So we can't charge you anything for these webcasts because the person I got it from didn't charge me. So, short little thing. Coach B's spiritual life. I'm blessed. I'll tell you the greater blessing. I'm blessed with colleagues like Jeff Battle and Andre and Nancy and Sarah Metter and Giselle. I've never had colleagues like this. It's just joyful to know that we're all in the same boat, wanting to help as many teachers as possible. My friends, in red, put your email address if you're willing to online right now. Tell people what grade you teach. Nancy is a wondrous second grade teacher. Giselle, you're right. This is the best crew ever. I'm going to talk about the special bundle. But here is our friend Ms. Linenthal. Gosh, the rules sound great, but how could I get professional development credit for this broadcast and a copy of these slides? Ms. Linenthal, how you feel? I'm feeling great, Coach. All right, Ms. Linenthal. So, my friends, if you want a copy of these slides, the webcast is for free. But we're charging a whopping $5.83 for this program. And tonight I'm going to stay online again. Anybody shocked at how quickly they've been getting the slides? Let's just stop there. Have you noticed how I've improved my customer service? Have you noticed that you're getting the slides really quickly? I hope you have. I'll stay online. And I'll get them to you tonight if you so desire. So here's Whole Brain Teaching. There's PayPal. You put $5.83 in there. You hit donate and boom, I'll get it back to you tonight. And I'm shooting for like a within 10 minutes, Liz from Elizabeth said last week. Here's what you get. You get the slides plus a certificate that says you've been here for professional development. Next week, 10 scoreboards. Great week this week, but who's excited about 10 scoreboards set up in a video game fashion? You win 10 times at level 1, you go to level 2. Win 10 times at level 2, you go to level 3. Who is rocking and excited about 10 scoreboards? The scoreboards are just going to sizzle you. My friends, if you want me to come to your school, get your principal to send me an email. And let's work out the details. I will be in Belleville, Illinois next week. For anyone named Sarah Metter who's from Illinois, I will be in Illinois next week, Sarah. I'll be thinking about you, my friend. Now here is the Class Yes Solo. It's in here. And there's a description of how you use the Class Yes Solo. And I'd love to come to your school. Get your principal to send me an email at, here I'll show it to you again, chrisbiffle@wholebrainteaching.com. If I don't come, Sarah might come, or Andre might come, or Giselle might come. Somebody will come. And now, here is the big sale. The big sale. Webcasts 501 to 510, buy the bundle now, a $50 value for only $19.99. For twice the fun when ordering, wear a wacky hat. Here's the 10 webcasts you get for $19.99. Universal homework model, oral writing, super improvers wall, genius ladder, 5-step lesson template, 5 more, prove it, Mind Soccer, Brain Toys 1, Brain Toys 2, and Super Speed 1000 for $19.99. Go to wholebrainteaching.com, type in $19.99 in the PayPal window, exactly that amount or any ludicrously higher number ending in 99, and tell your spouse you're going on vacation to Teaching Heaven. The only thing you don't get, you will not get the professional development certificates, because some shady folks might use them for professional development. All right, my friends. Let's just take a poll here, see who's going to use what tomorrow. Who's going to sign up this week for the Super Improver League? I want to know. Sign up this week for the Super Improver League. Let's start getting our classes competing against each other in what? In ability to improve. Get a snappy name. And we're going to have ongoing events, and all the events are just going to be about kids setting a record and trying to beat it. And the motivator is here, they're going against other classes. If you're a 4th grade class and you got beat by a kindergarten class, ha 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 ha. You're a kindergarten class and you're going against a 7th grade class, ha 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 ha. We're using social media to build a tidal surge of improvement across the nation. And it will happen. And you guys are the first wave. Super Improver League. All right. Number 2, who's using the diamond rule tomorrow? Diamond rule tomorrow. I'm taking a drink. Who's in? A lot of people in. Rosie Red Sox is in. I love it. Diamonds tomorrow. Wonderful. How about the big blinkeroo? You going with the big blinkeroo? Here's the big blinkeroo. Whenever you go like that, they have to say the 5 rules as fast as they can, and you open one eye. And if they get them said before you open both eyes, they get 2 smileys. Of course, they're not going to do it fast enough the first few times. It makes them more excited. You don't have to use it tomorrow. Keep it in your big back pocket. All right, my friends. Please do continue to pray for Coach B and his family, my family more than anything. We're making progress. The darkness is beginning to lift. But you know how the darkness is. It just needs more glowing prayer. So, it's Coach B signing off. Power to the teachers. Let me see who you are and where you're from. And we'll see you next week with 10 scoreboards. Just let those names roll down the screen. Mesa, Arizona, Virginia, New Jersey, Toronto, Canada, Massachusetts, Washington, Oklahoma, Palmdale, California, and Redlands, California, Virginia, Cleveland, northwestern Pennsylvania, Louisiana. Thank you, my friends. God bless us all. Power to the teachers. See you next week with 10 scoreboards.